You're listening to the WCHE Morning Show on 95.3 WCHE.
And welcome back to the WCHE Morning Show. I'm Eric Lambert. Co-host today is Terry Heyman. Joining us in the studio to discuss the upcoming 20th Westchester Film Festival, we have one of the directors of the film festival, Victoria Rose. Victoria, thank you for joining us this morning. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me back.
Appreciate you coming back on. And so a lot to get to with, of course, this being the 20th Westchester Film Festival. I've had the opportunity to go the last several years to the opening night, and it's been a great time. So for those who may not be familiar, what is the Westchester Film Festival and what makes it unique from other film festivals?
So the Westchester Film Festival, like you said, we're celebrating our 20th festival this year, which is a huge milestone, especially as we are an entirely nonprofit volunteer event. Everyone who runs the festival is a volunteer and has been for the entire time. So we were founded in 2003. Really was a group of people that wanted to show that Westchester was a community that supported the arts and that there really was a place for a theater in town. And, of course, now we see that with the Uptown Theater being so busy and so popular. But when it comes to the festival, we are an international short film festival. So this year we had a record number of submissions, over 300 from over 46 countries around the world. And we show all films in all genres, 30 minutes or less. We'll have over a dozen events through the weekend, from blocks of films, opening and closing night parties, filmmaker workshops, pop-ups, and other things that we want everybody to stop by.
And so as far as the 20th year, you mentioned a big milestone. What does that hitting that milestone mean for the festival? It's
a huge thing. I read somewhere once that the average lifespan of any film festival is 3 to 5 years. So the fact that we're at our 20th festival is a huge thing. And it's really been a labor of love for everyone that's been involved. You know, there's been dozens of board members over the years down to the board members that we currently have today. And we all spend from hundreds to thousands of hours on this every year, especially this time of year. It becomes kind of a full-time commitment. And that means that, you know, we really want to put this on for the community. And we're really proud to be not just supportive of our community, but supported by our community. We get so much support from local businesses, organizations, and everything that we do is try to put that back in. The cool thing that I really love is that so many of these films, the people that come to the festival would never be able to see somewhere else. You know, these stories from around the world that are showcasing diverse voices. Some of them, you know, might eventually be available on YouTube or streaming somewhere. But a lot of them, this is really your only chance to see them, whether they're from somebody, you know, in South Africa or somewhere in Asia, or they're somebody from right around town.
And as far as like the films and, of course, some of the great filmmakers you have, could you walk our listeners through what audiences can expect this year? Just a little teaser.
Sure. So this year, out of the over 300 submitted, we have 74 films showing throughout the weekend. That's including in our Young Filmmaker Festival. Our Young Filmmaker block is the only time during the weekend where there's any preference given to local filmmakers, because we really want to showcase those young voices and encourage those kids to keep making short films. We want to have them be able to show their film on the big screen, be treated like every other professional filmmaker, and be able to show those stories to their friends and family. But for the rest of the weekend, those main film blocks, they're going to be 2-hour blocks of films. Each block is going to have either 9 or 10 films in it. So you're going to see an animation, a drama, an art experimental, a comedy, a documentary, a whole range of films within that one block. So it's really a way to kind of explore the world within one block of films. And those blocks are, all the main festival blocks are just $15 or $12 student senior, and they're all shown at Uptown. And then we'll have pop-up blocks that are themed through the weekend.
And I know in the past you had like pop-ups at like May Day, I believe. Is that still the case this year?
Yep. So our 3 pop-ups this year are Friday night. We have the horror block, always one of our most favorite events from everybody. That is actually very close to sell out. So if you want tickets, grab that today. And that will be at Mayday Coffee on Friday at 9:30 p.m. That's a really fun late night event. And then on Saturday, we're doing a Celebrate Chester County 250 to coincide with America 250. That'll be a block of films at Chester County History Center, along with a panel that's a guided discussion from local experts on, you know, our local art, history, and culture. And then Sunday morning, we'll have a family-friendly coffee and cartoons at Beer Hall Townhouse. That'll be all animations it's going to be a really fun, like, hour-long block. Come to Beer Hall, grab brunch from them, and bring the whole family.
And Terry, you sound intrigued by the horror.
Yeah. I mean, how fun is that?
It's a really fun block of films. It's kind of a mix of thrillers and horror. Some are more heady and some are just more jump scares. We have a couple great zombie films in that this year. So this year we'll have a film called Octopus. I think that's from Spain. No, I think Portugal. Sorry about that. And then we'll have Z Mile. That's from an LA filmmaker who's actually flying in for the fest. It'll have White Meat Appetizer, which is a fantastic film coming out from filmmakers in Philadelphia, where they're just kind of taking the history of slaves buried under Washington Square in Philadelphia and turning that into kind of like a little bit of history and a whole lot of horror. And some other films in that, too. It's going to be a really fun block of films, and I'm expecting a great turnout.
Looking forward to it. So as far as another question I had here, so can you walk our listeners through what a typical festival weekend looks like for someone attending the first time?
If you're coming for the first time, I really suggest jumping in on opening night. During our opening night party, we'll have a huge amount of filmmakers in attendance. We start with a blue ribbon cutting at 5:30 on Friday night. And that'll have some special dignitaries this year that'll be making some announcements on the red carpet and remarks. We'll cut the blue ribbon, and then we'll really start the party out. And a lot of filmmakers will be in attendance. You can grab your program book and kind of see what's to come for the weekend. Talk to anybody in a Film Fest shirt. We'd love to answer any questions. I mean, we love putting this on, so please talk to us and let us talk all about what films you want to see. And if you have any questions, it's a great time to get those answered. And then, right after the opening night party, you can go into Uptown for that first block of films. It's going to be a really fun one. The film festival kicks off with Pie Girl this year, which is a documentary about a pie maker from New Jersey. And she's actually going to bring some of her pies to the opening night party so you can get a taste of what's to come, literally.
Very, very intriguing. So as far as we mentioned a little bit about the 20-year anniversary, how has it grown alongside the Westchester community over the last 20 years?
I mean, anybody that's been around for a couple decades knows it's been it's a very different style place these days. When the film festival first started, it wasn't, in a theater or anything. It was pop-up venues in back rooms of some of the organizations around. It was empty storefronts. Even when I started a little over a decade ago, we were still sweeping out venues, covering up windows with tape and blackout paper in order to do all these events. And now we're at Uptown. We have a beautiful big theater, state-of-the-art equipment to show all these films in. But we really like retaining that kind of guerrilla film festival style with those pop-up blocks. So that's why we really love going around town, showing in these different venues. Our workshops will be at Hotel Warner and Sidebar and Restaurant on Saturday and Sunday mornings, with Saturday focusing on getting your film out to audiences and getting the word out. And Sunday morning, actually back to horror, where we're talking about what it takes to make a horror film, from everything from makeup to script to, all those effects that you need. So we really try to retain that style. And it's wonderful to see how our community has grown along with the festival. We're actually going to be showing a couple times through the weekend a 20th Film Festival retrospective film that we made that kind of looks back to the early days. And it's great to see some of those old videos, old photography, and how far the festival has come along with the town over those years.
And I think it's cool that this is something that you guys offer, because in the age of streaming, I feel like people aren't getting out as much to the theaters and checking out as many films. And kind of along those lines, with streaming dominating the entertainment industry, in your opinion, why are these festivals so important?
The festival is about community in a lot of ways, but it's very much that communal experience of watching film. It's getting out there and seeing it with all these other people. And the really cool thing about the film festival is it's not just you're going to a theater and then you're watching a film and then you're leaving. It's come for the weekend. Go out to dinner afterwards. You're going to see people that were in the block with you that are wearing the film festival lanyards and badges. And you can talk to them and say, oh, did you see that one? Oh, what are you seeing next? What else is going on? Some of my favorite experiences for the film festival weekend are not exactly at the festival, but around town. And late night, you're having a drink and talking to filmmakers that you only met a couple hours ago and sharing those experiences and learning about where their idea for the stories came. And I think that's really the exciting part of the festival, about being there with everybody. And it's interesting because we have so many films in those blocks. So it's not just, you're seeing a horror film and getting scared together. You're also watching something really intense and like maybe crying together. And then a few minutes later, you're laughing. So we really try to have those whole varied blocks of films where you get that full range of experiences all in one place with a theater.
I feel like the connection part, too, like we met some people last year, some of the filmmakers, and still stay in touch. We've had them on the show since. And so I think the connection aspect is very important.
Yeah, I think about as many filmmakers have been through WCHE recently that I've talked to. But that's very much true. You know, I've met a lot of friends through the festival. And I see filmmakers out and about all the time. And it's always nice to check in. What are you working on now? And we also have a lot of filmmakers who have met at the festival, which is cool. And then they've gone on to work on projects together. Mm-hmm. So we even have some films back at the festival this year that are either from young filmmakers who ended up working with some of the professional filmmakers, getting on-set experience and are now back. And you can see them develop over the years. Or filmmakers who are like, oh, you know what, we get along. Let's make a film together next time.
That's exactly what happened with Steve. Our Thursday, he ended up being in Becoming the Man, a small part of that. And that's going to be, I believe, the opening night, if I remember correctly.
Yep, Becoming the Man will be showing at our opening night block of films. So that'll be following our opening night party at 7 p.m. on Friday. So Becoming the Man is the prequel to a film that was in our festival last year called R.I.P. Kevin the Man. Mm-hmm. Spoiler, he was okay. But that was filmed at Hop Fidelity right around the corner.
Yeah, so looking forward to seeing that one. And Terry, before I wrap with some of the specifics on how to get tickets, anything, did you have any?
I'm just wondering, is there any one film that you are really looking forward to seeing? Like if you're like a newbie and you're like, all right, if you're just going to pick one thing, I mean, I know you said the opening night party, but is there any one film like this one's getting the buzz, you got to catch this one?
I'm trying to think. There are so many beautiful ones. I will say there is a few gorgeous films. There's a lovely film called Papillon Butterfly, and that is from France and I think another country as well. And it is a stunning portrait of a person's life over the years, from success at the Olympics through living through war and all the ways it comes around. And the visuals in it are absolutely beautiful. It was one of the ones, actually, my 12-year-old son happened to just be in the room while we were screening that in the fall. And he's like, that has to get into the festival. And for him to be like, in it, it's a subtitled film. It's not something I would necessarily think to grab his attention. And as soon as we we came home and he's like, that film got in, right? So there are those experiences where you see something like that, and that one really sticks with me. I can imagine it in my mind right now, and that'll be showing during the festival. And it's also cool because we'll be showing the best of the fest on Sunday night, so you'll be able to come back out and see some of the films. If you only get to come to one block all weekend long, you can come there and kind of see a wrap-up of what the fest is all about.
Got it.
Now, what is, as far as some of the awards, what do you guys announce them? I'm assuming Sunday?
So we used to do them on Sunday, but we switched it around. So Sunday night is now a closing night best of the fest. So it's more of a varied block of films. It'll include Chester award-winning films. The Chester is our unique award, just like the Oscar, but which we're actually redesigning for our 20th year. So we'll be revealing that this weekend. But instead this year we're doing the award ceremony on Saturday night because we really want to make this a celebration of the 20th anniversary as well. So Saturday night at 7 p.m. at Uptown up in the Univest room, we're going to have a special celebration which will include giving out the Chester Awards. We'll have a special cupcake toast to 20 years with cupcakes from the Master's Baker. And we'll have beverages from local distilleries, breweries, and wineries available, as well as other beverages for everyone. And that's just, an hour and 15 minutes. It's open to the public. It's free. Come on by. We'll talk about, what the fest has been, what it's becoming, and where it's going in the future, as well as celebrating all those amazing filmmakers.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that it coincides. You have your 20th anniversary along with America 250, which you mentioned you guys had some things going on for that. Now, as far as the tickets and how people can get involved, if someone is interested in attending, how can they do that?
So all the information is on our website. It's westchesterfilmfestival.com. You can also go to our socials. We're on Facebook, Westchester Film Festival, or on Instagram at WC Film Festival. You're welcome to send us questions to info@Westchester Film Festival as well. But tickets are available on our website, and then you can also buy tickets at the door to most events as long as they're not sold out.
And so you mentioned at the door. So is it? I'm assuming it's like specific to each night, like a Friday ticket, Saturday ticket.
So there is an all-access pass available. You can buy. There's a link to that on our website, and it's also on Uptown's website as well. So that gets you into absolutely everything through the weekend. So I would totally recommend that if you really want to get the full fest experience. But yep, if you're looking for individual events, you can look at our schedule. All the tickets are linked. It includes what films are being shown at what time, what's going on, and also the venues. Because remember, our main festival venue is at Uptown, but we will be all around town through the weekend.
And you mentioned that this is something that you guys have put a lot of hours in, of course, your volunteer base. When did the prep start for this year?
I mean, it really starts the day after the festival. We really start thinking about what did we do this year, get any feedback. And we really want to hear from all our patrons as well. What did you like? Do you have any suggestions? Do you want to get more involved? You know, we always love people that want to come back and volunteer and get participate more in the future. And we also like to do events through the year as well. So you mentioned America 250. We're hoping to do some America 250 and Chester County 250 themed events through the rest of the year, because one of the cool things about being a short film festival is all those short films from our 20 festivals, we can go back and kind of curate from them interesting blocks through the year for all different audiences. Yeah,
so a lot of cool things to do as far as that goes. And Terry, anything before we wrap?
No, it sounds amazing. And I'm amazed at 20 years. I think it's extraordinary.
And you went last year, right? You were there for a little bit last year.
I did go last year, and I could say I was really blown away by the quality of the films. They were, sometimes I still think about it. One was like a quirky, Eastern European one about the son and the little girl and a kind of a nutty family. And I was just really, I wasn't sure what to expect. And I was really blown away by what I saw. And I would also say, too, that it's a very friendly crowd. I mean, it sounds like a little intimidating, I don't know anyone, I'm going to go with a bunch of filmmakers. But really wasn't like that. And I saw people from the community and that I was surprised to see there. And it was really it was a really nice evening. It was just a really fun, nice evening. And I was surprised that it was my first time going there. And I've lived here for many years.
I get that all the time. And it really is a varied crowd. We get people coming in for the weekend to stay. We have people who come every year. We, of course, have those filmmakers. But we also get a lot of people that have been coming for a long time from the town. We have people that have been with the festival for longer than I have, and I'm considered somebody new with the fest. And then we have people just start strolling in for the first time, being like, oh, I saw a flag outside. What is this? And it's really rewarding to me as somebody who puts in all this time is to hear from those people who are like, oh, I didn't know anything about this. I kind of wanted to support something in the community. I strolled in, and they come out, and I'm like, I laughed, I cried, I really enjoyed it. I'm going back. I'm buying tickets for everything for the rest of the weekend. This is something that I really love. There's something special about telling a film in such a short amount of time that really creates a deep impact.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking when Terry, when you were talking about some of the experiences last year. It really takes a special skill to be able to tell a story. We know that people sort of have short attention spans, and so be able to tell that story in under 30 minutes and do a good job, definitely a special skill for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of films that have stuck with me way more than any of the big Hollywood blockbusters I see. I'll leave that and I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get the gist. It's kind of dragged in the middle. You don't have any of that with a short film. It really tells a fantastic story. And these films are going to stick with you for a long time. There's ones from my very first festival that I think about all the time.
Right, concise and to the point.
Exactly.
And so before, Victoria, we appreciate you coming on. Before we close, you just want to give one more reminder of the dates and how people can check it out.
Sure. So the Westchester Film Festival is this weekend, April 24th through 26th. Our main venue is the Uptown Conower Performing Arts Center. We'll also have pop-up events all around downtown Westchester. You can find us online at westchesterfilmfestival.com or on social media at WC Film Festival.
Looking forward to it. Thanks again, and we'll see you this weekend.
Thank you. We'll see you at opening night.